So we are here in Orlando for a radio industry conference, and we ran into Terrian. So good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
So we just are loving your song, Big God.
Thank you.
So we'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, some people might know that you are a big powerhouse voice in the Diversity Band with TobyMac.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, being the youngest person in that team, what have you learned? What's sort of the takeaways and the lessons from these veterans?
I've learned so much just about how to be a good leader. Toby's such an amazing leader. And anytime he steps into that role, like during rehearsals, I'm just paying attention, to just how he's very cognizant of detail. Like there are things that he hears that we don't even hear, and I'm like, okay, like I need to keep that in my back pocket when it's time to lead a team. So it's great. Yeah.
Well, and when you say time to lead a team, you actually do lead and coach and mentor young girls. Yeah. So I guess transition or like fill that gap in. So you're going from taking away and learning from a veteran like TobyMac and you're applying it probably. So share a little bit about what you're learning, what you're applying, but then also where your heart is when it comes to these young girls.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in town as much anymore, so I haven't been able to be as hands-on with Angel Street as much as I'd like to, but early on, I think just seeing the impact that that Angel Street was having on them, that it had on me, I was like, this is something worth being a part of, because I see myself in them, and I needed that mentorship. And we have some incredible women who are there in the trenches doing the work with them. And just mentorship, it changes lives. It changes lives. Yeah.
So explain a little bit more for those who don't know about the ministry.
Man, it's a nonprofit organization. It's an all-girls choir. We realized like some of the schools in the neighborhoods were not like keeping the music programs, and we realized how important music is. So we wanted to be that in North Memphis, where I grew up, and they get to come there twice a week and be a part of a choir with other young ladies, and again with some strong women who are mentors to them, and just so that they can have a safe place to come, and a place to hear positive gospel-centered music, even, and so that they have a voice as well. Yeah.
It definitely seems like, and I thought this was just a Canadian thing, but it definitely seems like the arts is the first thing to go in the schools. Are you finding that too? Is that part of your history?
Yeah, I feel like that's been an issue for the past few years, which is so unfortunate, because that's just such a safe way for young people to express themselves and have an outlet. And you learn a lot of their stories if you just let them write a song, So I hate that that's happening to music programs, but hopefully that changes at some point.
Yeah. And there's ministries and people like you who are able to bring that back out in people. Yeah. I was reading an author saying how she's like, as much as I'm an author of books and I want people to understand there's a power in language, she's like, music is that language that if we were to communicate with life on another planet, it would probably be through music. How has music impacted you?
Oh my gosh. I think it gives me language to connect to the Lord. And also to be able to help understand what other people are experiencing, because artists pour their hearts and souls into this stuff, so I think it just gives us the language that we need sometimes to understand and to connect. Yeah.
Well, we love your song, Big God.
Thank you.
And so I want to ask you as we wrap up, what is God telling you right now? How is he showing you that he's a big God?
I think he is showing me that just in moments where I feel cornered by whatever I'm going through, that even in that, he's like much bigger than that, and he is completely with me. And it's like, he's like, I see the bigger picture here, and you don't right now. But if you would just like believe that I'm with you, you'd be able to accept that I am much bigger than this, and even when you have massive dreams, and you're like, how do I get there? How am I going to get there? Yeah. It's like, well, if you serve a big God, you just watch. He'll bring the right people around, and he'll bring the path. He'll lay it out before you. Yeah. So just it's been good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get opportunities to lead more with girls, because it's obviously a gift of yours. Yeah. You have this sweet voice, but this crazy power vocal voice.
Yeah.
So we love hearing you and hearing you on the station. Terrian, thank you so much.
Thank you.